This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. We begin today with a protest on Wednesday, bringing together several correctional officers from the Bureau of Corrections. They say they're taking a stand to long-standing issues within the BOC, some going back almost 9 years. USVI News' Ali Bourne-Vanek was there and has more on the grievances and what are the next steps to bring change.
About a dozen protesters from the Bureau of Corrections received honks and support from drivers on Wednesday. They stood outside the VI legislature, sharing concerns and grievances as employees of BOC.
All of us, and I only talking for me and my co-workers in the back, attacking the officers that work before us, the ones presently working, and the ones future ones to come. Enough is enough. The pain is unbearable. Every 2 weeks, you mean to tell me that we get paid wrong, incorrectly? 2 weeks, 9 years. Enough is enough. We need to get this fixed right away. Our families are being affected.
LeVar Van Beverhout is a corrections officer with the Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections. He says technical issues with the payment system and how work hours are processed have resulted in him and his co-workers not getting paid the full amount of hours worked.
It's a flaw in the system. The system wasn't designed for anybody working more than 8 hours. You have to go into the system and do it manually. Someone dropped the ball, but nobody wants to be held accountable. From 2012, we filed a grievance. It's 2021. 9 years ahead, still the same problems. Somebody needs to be held accountable. Somebody dropped the ball. Nobody wants to say who it is. No, we're at full force. We want to be paid. We're living in 2021. Gas bill going up. Groceries going up. My water going up. I can't get them a letter saying I owe you because I ain't getting paid correctly.
Payment challenges aren't the only issues, he says. There's also employee salaries, safety concerns, and others.
We're understaffed, underpaid. We have no low morale.
Several senators met with the protesters, including Senator Dwayne DeGraff. He's vice chair of the Committee on Homeland Security, Justice, and Public Safety.
To hear some of the sad things that are taking place, over time they're working and they can't get paid correctly, and these are problems that they're having. So we've had corrections before our committee and asking them the information. Now with this being brought to light, surprisingly just pulling into work today and being brought to light, we will follow up on it. But until they negotiate, no funding can be set for them to for any increases because at this point we just don't know where they stand at this time.
Senate President Donna Fred Gregory also met with the protesters and shared advice on next steps she and the legislature can take.
I urge them to have a discussion with the governor. I am going to have one with the governor as well as the director, which is Ms. Winnie Testamark, to find out exactly, to get to the bottom of what the issues are and to hear. Of course, there's always two sides to a story, so we really need to, I need to understand exactly what it is. And I did share with them that if it's a matter of us needing to appropriate additional funds for them to have the necessary resources, the legislature, we are getting ready to go into our budget cycle. And if that's something that we need to do, we will move the necessary legislation or the appropriation rather to assist them with getting the necessary equipment.
While change is hopefully coming, with the BOC sharing they will be addressing the matter, the situation is difficult for these employees. They say especially this week.
It's National Correction Officers Week. Show us the respect that we earn. We work hard, day in, day out, day off. We come in, helping out. Where's the appreciation?
In St. Thomas, Ali Bourne-Vanek, USVI News.
And it's certainly not an easy job. And again, the Bureau of Corrections says they are addressing the grievances and say these issues are long-standing and predate the current BOC administration. They have released the following statement regarding Wednesday's protest to USVI News, saying, quote, from the BOC Director Testamark, quote, the BOC is committed to ensuring that all of our correction officers are paid what they are owed. I fully understand that correctional officers have been waiting for 9 years for a resolution of this issue. She added, and I have instructed our payroll team to take the necessary steps to ensure that their overtime is properly calculated and promptly paid. In addition to tackling the reducing the sizable backlog of labor grievances upon taking charge, Director Testemark has been engaged in ongoing negotiations along with the OCB over a new collective bargaining agreement for correctional officers. Wednesday's protest by correctional officers did not affect BOC operations on St. Thomas. All officers scheduled to work reported for duty. A St. Croix man is sitting in jail charged with attempted murder. Police arrested 18-year-old Hezekiah Thompson of Estate Prophet on a warrant for attempted murder, assault, reckless endangerment, and weapons violations. VIPD says he fired several shots at a person in the Clifton Hill area back on February 16th of last year. He was nabbed in Puerto Rico on Tuesday. VIPD detectives traveled to Puerto Rico, took him into custody, and he's now back here in the VI facing charges. His bond set at $250,000. The St. Croix police chief says this arrest shows the department has the resources and tenacity to find suspects who flee the territory to try to avoid persecution. Well, this is Teachers Appreciation Week. Thank you to all the teachers who have worked so very hard here in the VI during these unprecedented times. Last week, the VI honored administrators for Principal Appreciation Day. And on Wednesday, the VI Department of Education held a briefing to talk about the success of its students, faculty, and staff as we are now in graduation season. They also talked about the efforts schools have taken to keep children safe while they learn. So we hear from the superintendents and commissioner of education as they commend teachers and students for their work during such a challenging school year.
It gives me great pleasure to offer my congratulations to the class of 2021 and all the promotees in this district. This year may go down in history as possibly one of the most challenging periods in our lifetime. However, our students are extremely resilient, and it almost seems that congratulations is not enough. Our seniors rose to the occasion and are meeting the requirements necessary to close this chapter of their lives. Words cannot express the level of respect I have for them, their teachers, counselors, administrators, and every employee in the St. Croix district. I must acknowledge our youngest learners and commend their parents and teachers for all their efforts during this transition. It was of utmost importance for us to provide the level of instruction our students need in their formative years.
Thank you for all you do every day to ensure our students are receiving the best education possible. Again, congratulations to the class of 2021, and have a safe and productive summer.
I would like to invite the entire Virgin Islands community to rally around our students and the work of the VI Department of Education. Indeed, education is everyone's responsibility. Our department is at a pivotal time in its history where things are shifting and changing, and we have much work to do, and the VIDE reaffirms its commitment to executing its work in the best interests of our students.
Over the past year, the VI Department of Education has made great progress in modernizing schools. There are also lots of ongoing infrastructure improvements underway, including the construction of a new school in St. John. The Department of Education also announced upcoming school graduation plans, and you can visit its website at vide.vi for information on graduation plans and learn more about the ongoing efforts of the department. Well, we have the latest COVID-19 case counts here in the territory, which have increased a bit. Cases have gone down some in St. Croix, but increased this week in St. Thomas. The latest numbers from the VI Department of Health show there are currently 75 active cases throughout the territory, 13 in St. Croix, 61 in St. Thomas, and just 1 in St. John. And while coronavirus variants are widely circulating across the U.S., experts say a third dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine will likely be needed within a year. Pfizer's CEO made those comments on Tuesday about the company's plan to come up with a new vaccine to fight off certain variants. He said people will likely need a booster shot within 6 to 12 months of getting fully vaccinated. Pfizer announced last month that its vaccine was more than 91% effective against COVID-19 and 95% effective at severe disease up to 6 months after the second dose. As leaders here in the VI and nationwide continue to plead Americans to get vaccinated against COVID-19, we are learning more about vaccine recommendations for pregnant women. Pregnancy is considered a high-risk condition for severe illness from COVID-19, according to the CDC. Evidence shows pregnant women who contract the virus are more likely to be hospitalized and more likely to need intensive care if they are hospitalized. But as you can imagine, there is certainly some hesitancy among expectant moms to roll up their sleeves. We spoke with gynecologist Dr. Sarah Meyer, who's encouraging her pregnant patients to get the vaccine if they feel comfortable.
So if the pregnant woman is asking me which one she should get, I'm going to tell her that right now the most data that we have is on Moderna and Pfizer, but the most common reported side effect is actually pain at the injection site. We're actually even seeing less severe complications with fever in those pregnant women, and this is including all trimesters.
Moderna and Pfizer vaccines are the ones being distributed here in the VI. And of course, the decision is a very personal one. It's recommended you speak with your doctor or specifically your gynecologist if you have any questions or concerns concerning the COVID-19 vaccine.